welcome back to the Packer Mentality Podcast, where I try to keep you up to date and shed a little light on what is happening on and off the field with the Packers. Your active participation is vital in transforming this channel into something truly special. Take a moment to subscribe, drop your comments, and connect with me on social media at Packer Mentality. Remember, you can find this podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms. Packers lose 24-22 in disheartening fashion on Monday night to the Giants. This game was a pile of hot garbage for most of the game. I personally had gone to a local Packers bar hoping that this would be a game that I could enjoy and hang out with some other Packers fans because I don't live in Green Bay. But it was not meant to be pretty much from the very beginning. Offensively, this Packers offense looked like they did in October, and that's not a good thing. It was mostly bad for three quarters. Jordan Love was super inaccurate. I don't know what was going on. He was all over the place with his throws. It looked like he couldn't grip the ball. He did finish with okay numbers due to his play in the fourth quarter. The offensive line had trouble protecting him. And for the first two drives of the game, they went nowhere. Now, on the third drive of the game, they managed to get into the end zone, largely due to a great play by A.J. Dillon, who had a 34-yard catch and run. And Jaden Reed took it the rest of the way on an end around. Reed did lead this team with 8 receptions, but only 28 yards for those 8 receptions. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. Jordan Love had a fumble and an interception in the first half, which killed the next 2 drives. But the good news was that the Giants couldn't score after either one of those. The Packers did get a field goal late in the first half, and my concern was that Patrick Taylor doesn't seem to understand when he needs to get out of bounds. He wasted a bunch of time fighting for basically no extra yards late in that drive, and he should have just ran out of bounds. Now, in the second half, the Packers got the ball on the Giants' 14-yard line due to a break. They got a break on a Giants special teams debacle. The ball just hit a Giants player who didn't know where the ball was, and the Packers managed to recover it. But on that drive, incomplete pass, a sack, and another incomplete pass where Jaden Reed quite possibly could have been open, but I don't know if it was a miscommunication, an inaccurate throw, but Jaden Reed just couldn't find the ball, and it went over his head. Ended up settling for a field goal. But after that drive, Jordan Love and the offense did what you needed them to do. They started to make plays. Tucker Kraft had a huge, really nice deep catch and run for 43 yards, which led to a field goal. Tucker led the team in receiving yards, 4 catches for 64 yards. Next time, they got the ball in very good position after that bizarre fumble by Saquon Barkley and the huge return by Carrington Valentine. That gave them the ball with little over 3.5 minutes left in the game. Packers needed the touchdown, and the offense and Jordan Love delivered. They did exactly what you want, what you need them to do, want your quarterback to do when the chips are down. Went 9 plays, 36 yards, and got a 6-yard touchdown catch by Malik Heath, who was in because Dontavian Wicks had gotten hurt. And I believe this was Malik Heath's first touchdown catch. Someone can check me on that. Now, they needed a 2-point conversion to make it a 3-point game, but they couldn't get it. Jaden Reed on a jet sweep or an end around, he gets stuffed. I put this on Matt LaFleur. This was a bad play call that he should have seen coming. The Giants had basically had Jaden Reed and this type of play figured out at over the last quarter or so, and they stuffed him a few times late in the game on that type of play, but didn't seem to stop Matt LaFleur from calling it, and unsurprisingly, it didn't work. Jordan Love, mostly due to the heroics in the fourth quarter, ended up with okay numbers. 25 of 39 for 215 yards, one touchdown, and the one interception. Got some good plays by Tucker Kraft, who we've talked about, A.J. Dillon, who we've talked about. Jaden Reed had the run for a touchdown, and Malik Heath with the touchdown catch. Now, the offense wasn't the only part of the Packers team that was basically stinking up the field. Special teams got in on the action with a Keyshawn Nixon fumble on a punt that he initially dropped, then went down to the ground, picked it up, got up, didn't have it secured, and got it knocked out, which led to a touchdown. I'm going to say right now, as much as I love his big playability, he scares me on punt returns. He does not catch the ball cleanly, and I think this was a mental error as much as a physical error that he should have just stayed down after he had fumbled it. And Packers also missed a field goal early in the fourth quarter. It was a makeable kick. Now, I know Anders Carlson is a rookie and kickers are going to miss a few, but that one did hurt. Defensively is where I really have problems with this team. Once again, they are beaten by an inferior offense and inferior talent. I know this defense was without Quay Walker, Jair Alexander, Eric Stokes is not back, and Darnell Savage was in and out of this game with injuries. But the defensive front was still there. All those first round draft picks. How many times did you hear the announcers call any of their names getting a sack? Not once tonight. No sacks. Tommy DeVito has been sacked about 6 times per game on average before tonight. And the Packers, defensive line, edge rushers, they couldn't touch him. Even when they had a chance, they couldn't touch him. Oh, and that running defense, the rush defense, yeah, they gave up over 200 yards on the ground again. Is that the third or fourth time this season? I'm not sure. And they couldn't pressure or fool a third string quarterback into making any mistakes. That last part is on you, Joe Barry. When the chips were down, you showed that you were unable to scheme or adjust your defense to stop a miserable offense with a third string quarterback from driving down from their 25 to the Packers 22 in 51 seconds with just short passes. And they had 42 seconds left to kill before they kicked their field goal. It was way too easy. The Giants had scored over 20 points only twice before tonight. And tonight they got 24. This is a trend for the Packers defense. Bad rushing defense and a pass defense is too soft, not just this season, but in previous seasons. Only playing a bunch of bad offenses this season has saved them from even more criticism. This Green Bay team is only going to win when their offense plays well. That's pretty clear at this point. And even then, it's going to be a near thing. This loss is not the end of the world. The Packers still control their playoff fate, and the schedule is still pretty manageable. But not being able to beat this Giants team is concerning. The Packers are back home on Sunday to take on the Buccaneers. I will be back later in the week to talk about that game. Until then, have a great week and go Pack Go.